Hi, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel. This is my book review of Simone's book 2 from her series Breeze. This is the story of Shambel Sinner. So I have this both in Audible and in Kindle and I loved it. The voices. I love the voices. There will be a lot of spoiler and I got this from Book Talk because it was overhyped. They were saying this is better than The Priest, but I read both and The Priest was better. My story rating for this is 3 and The Spice is just 1. I've read many review on Goodreads and they're all 5 star. I've watched TikTok and many are like hyping it up. The difference with this based from my review is that it wasn't steamy and spicy as I expected more than The Priest, and The Priest story is actually more interesting. This one, Shambal has a net worth of 20 million. He is 36 years old. He is the eldest child of the Bell family. Tyler is the third because Lizzie, the one who unalived herself, was the second. So basically, Tyler, being the eldest child, is blaming himself and did not thoroughly mourn for the death of her sister because, as the eldest child, she feels like he failed protecting his younger sister, his one and only sister, and because of that, he felt guilt. Second, the one who caused the death of Lizzie is a priest. And because of that, he lost his faith to God. And that's why Tyler, his priest, well, postulate, brother, postulate, I think it's postulate because he's no longer priest. He broke his vow, married puppy, so he's no longer priest. But in a way, he's still treated like a priest of the family because Tyler is a very good man and a man of God. So he called him sinner because he no longer have faith in God. He does multiple spies to different types of women, for all women, married or not, single or not, and has only worship money because he feels like with money he can protect his family, especially that they live in a rich community where they are the poorest because they only inherited the house from his grandparents. So he worked so hard, renovated the entire house to make it one of the best home in the community. He has a best friend, Alicia, from the Iverson family, who has been their friends for 20 years. However, after Lizzie's death, they no longer spoke, and that is because the father, Dr. Iverson, still go back to the church. The Bell family no longer wants to go back to the church because it's the reason why Lizzie unalive herself. Iverson family has another child, which is Zenny. Zenny is 21 years old now. Okay, so in the beginning of the story, it was a charity or fundraising, and they met. So Zenny lied and said her name was Mary because Sean only talked to Elijah for the last 14 years. He hasn't seen Zenny. And then one time, his boss, Sean, called and said, "We are having a problem with the deal." The property was sold, but the nuns are living there and they are making a bad or negative PR for our company because it's working, I think, in the real estate or investment, something with the business world. And then when he went in there, he found out that Mary, the girl that he nearly slept with, is actually Zenny, and they talk. And he left because he felt that he was in love with Mary, but was actually Zenny. And so he asked Norfolk to do the job. No, Waldman to give the job to someone else, which was given to Norfolk. And Norfolk was his mortal enemy at work, and he's trying to get it back, but Norfolk doesn't budge. She still continues with the project with the nuns. Senny, on the other hand, went into his place, asked him to sleep with her, but he was confused because first, she is the sister of his best friend, and He is 36, she's 21. But after consulting Tyler, he said, you are doing that because of your conscience. You are doing that because you're not over too lazy. She is not lazy, and so on and so forth. So he finally decided it. They did the sex, but only for 1 month. Because after 1 month, she will do the vow or marrying God because she wanted to be a nun. Zenny wants to be a nun, and that's why she cannot be with Sean. Sean was falling for her deeply, but they only have 1 month. So he confessed to her while they're doing the spies. Zenny got mad because it feels like Tyler was not supposed to fall for her, and it feels like Tyler was manipulating her to not be a nun and be like everyone else, saying that Zenny will not make it being a nun. So they quit, and when he went to his younger brother's house, Aiden, he found out that Aiden is gay and no bi, and Aiden is sleeping with his boyfriend Elijah, and Elijah found out that Sean is also sleeping with his sister, so they fought, but no words. And at the same time with that, while all these things are happening, Mrs. Bell, the mother of Sean and Tyler, had a cancer and she is in ICU. Sean had a mini mental breakdown because he failed as a boyfriend, no, semi-boyfriend. He failed to protect his sister Zenny from deleting herself. He failed to protect Aiden, his brother, from coming out of the closet as bi. And now he feels like he failed his mother because she is dying of cancer that no amount of his wealth can save him. Out of out of nowhere, his boss Baldman called him and said, "You have to choose between your job or your mother who is dying with cancer." He chose his mother, but at the same time, he feels so lost because there's no Zenny. He texts Zenny. Zenny came to the hospital. Zenny talked to Mrs. Bell, and after that, they removed the mask because Mrs. Bell does not want to be resuscitated or intubated, so she died peacefully. And then after that, Zenny went to do her bow, but 30 minutes before, Sean showed up and they did the spies and he left, but Zenny catch him and she confessed his feelings for him. In the epilogue, they got married and she is pregnant. The reason why the story I only have 3 stars out of 5, 5 being the highest, is because there are many times where it was just talking. Just imagine this, 60%, I have 60% on this, on this, 60% on this, but they haven't done the deed. Speaking of which, while they agreed to do the deed to test her carnal sin before doing the vow, when she was exploring Sean's body, Sierra Simone made her female lead Zenny like a grade schooler exploring Sean's body, like, oh, this muscle, what does this do? I mean, didn't you study biology or anatomy and physiology in college? And that's another thing. She is semi-V. She has made out with many men, but on their first time, she was just exploring and it was boring AF. Like, literally, she was treated like a grade school, like exploring I'm telling you, the muscles of her chest, of her back, of her he is literally like touching and learning the curves of Sean Bell's body, not even doing the spice. On top of that, their spice, Sean is not allowed to explode inside of him, of her, and is not allowed to explode in front of her, like, come. And he is only allowed to come in a wrap, in a plastic wrap. And that was like the most boring of all. And the spice, if I can give it a negative one, because they only describe one part of it. Like it wasn't like the one that I expected. But yeah, it was only 1 star for me on the spice and tree on the story. And there are times that this book, it took me like 3 to 4 days to finish, because that's how boring it is. There's too much talking, and then he is taking care of her. Like, Zenny is a grade schooler, but she is already in college. And I didn't like how Simone made Zenny, 21 years old, who's studying nursing, by the way, wants to be nun, like a little girl, like too innocent. I never wanted like female leads to be so naive like Zenny. I wanted to be like Gianna, super strong and empowered. But anyway, my like in here, and the reason why I give it 3 is because of the family orientation. In the hospital, while Mrs. Bell is dying, they had a talk, and that talk made me cry a lot, like super a lot. It was like very very wholesome. The prayer, the wish of her mother, of his mother. It was very solemn and heavy. It hardly. Actually, I was planning to DNF this at 60%, because I was like, where's the spice? It was just like exploring Sean's body and gross. No spice. I like spice, okay? That's why I like dark romance. And I nearly DNF it, but once again, I was like, I've already spent my money, so I'm gonna finish it. So the unexpected term, around 80 to 90%, that was the time that I cried, because of the situation of Mrs. Bell in the hospital. She was dying of cancer. Do I recommend this book? No. You can stop or stay with Priest. Sinners, I do not recommend it. Maybe it's just me, but despite the book talk review and Goodreads, this is not my cup of tea. That's all. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.